lie in the Australian outback.
The fish just came out of nowhere.
More are rising from the grave.
I've seen them here hatch out of the ground.
Is it a visit from the supernatural? In South Africa, more than 50 killer whale lookalikes wash ashore.
It's almost unreal what I saw with these whales packed one next to each other.
I wasn't even sure that they were whales.
Have they talked themselves into mass suicide? At the very top of Italy, a vertical dam wall becomes a hangout for some death-defying goats.
I couldn't believe my eyes. They were like suspended in midair, like Spider-Man.
Find out the answers to the world's weirdest mysteries on Wild Case Files. Lajamanu, the Northern Territory, Australia. A town with just 1,000 people, 2 days from the nearest city. It's completely remote, and the weather swings from one extreme to the other. February 26, 2010 is typical. In the height of the wet season, it's hot and humid. Suddenly, a storm erupts.
I was cooking tea and we had a heavy downpour of rain. It was really, really loud. I heard yelling and screaming. I hadn't experienced a storm like it before.
This is the area over here
Where I witnessed the local Indigenous people catching what I thought was hail.
It's not hail. Hundreds of silver fish are strewn across the town. Eyewitnesses claim they came out of thin air.
I came outside, I seen fish just flying everywhere. Kids just ran out and grabbed the fish. I just couldn't believe it because it's the first time I seen the fish flying from the sky.
The places where they were, they couldn't have come, couldn't have come from anywhere else but above. They were on the roof, and they were in the water tank, on the machinery. There were just places where they couldn't get unless they fell from the sky.
Other witnesses add an even weirder twist to the tale.
I didn't see them fall out of the sky, so I can't say they didn't, but I've seen them here hatch out of the ground after it rains, a couple of weeks after it's rained.
The fish are found hundreds of meters from the nearest stream or creek.
And we fish out the front of the shop, and we're 200 metres from the creek.
Can fish really rise out of the earth? Can flying fish really fall from the heavens? There will be a full investigation. It kicks off in the Regional Weather Center, where Emil Janssens gets an unusual call.
It was a reporter who was chasing a story on falling fish in Lajamanu. My first reaction was complete surprise. I thought it must have been a hoax and decided that this was something I should definitely follow up on.
Lajamanu is 660 kilometers inland, towards the center of Australia. It hunkers on the edge of the Tanami Desert. The nearest large lake is 480 kilometers away. Hooker Creek, south of the town, is the only natural water source. Many of the fish are found in the town's sports ground, the Oval, less than 300 meters from the creek. The first stage of the investigation is to identify the type of fish. Local resident Christine Balmer recognizes the finger-sized species.
Some of them were quite small, like 3-4 centimetres. I did witness ones that were like 10 centimetres, and they were all the same fish, spangled perch.
Spangled perch are freshwater fish found in water holes, lakes and creeks across northern Australia. How they get from the lake or even the nearby creek to arrive on the town's sports ground is a mystery. Emile can immediately point to a potential perpetrator.
If you're looking for a meteorological suspect, there's really only one culprit that could actually do this, and that's the tornado.
Tornadoes generate some of the most powerful and destructive forces on the planet. Wind speeds can rise to 480 kilometers an hour, powerful enough to haul cars into the air. And when Emile does a cross-check on the records for La Germanu on the night it rained fish, he finds uncanny conditions.
We had an active tropical low in the region. The atmosphere was very unstable, and the wind profile was just set up perfectly to get a tornado.
For a tornado to flood the sky with fish, it would have to kidnap its victims from beneath the surface of the water and release them unharmed after a journey across country. On the other side of the world, in London, British Natural History Museum's fish expert Oliver Crimmen is a leading authority on showers of aquatic animals.
I've looked at reports of rains of fishes from around the world and throughout history, and we find them occurring in Europe, a lot in the tropics, in India, in Australia a great deal. Really, throughout the globe, fish falls can happen.
It's not only fish that appear out of thin air. In 2007, hikers in Argentina are bombarded by an aerial barrage of venomous spiders, each one the size of a person's palm. Also in 2007, in Jennings, Louisiana, live earthworms pelt a policewoman as she makes her way to work. Tangled in large clumps, they hit the ground, still wriggling. And in 2009, frogs, tadpoles, and fish shower down on central Japan. Many strange appearances of animals are never explained, but Oliver knows of one case where there is undeniable evidence of fish falling from the sky.
One Friday afternoon in 1984, the phone rang and the reporter from a local newspaper had been contacted by a local man reporting fish found on the ground, inexplicably.
A deluge of fish drops on a London suburb, East Ham, a few kilometers from the River Thames.
Two types of fish involved, flounders and smelt, very different shapes, similar weights.
This time, it's clear what the culprit is.
A small tornado moving over water will pick up water and fish and transport it either a little way from the sea or from a river estuary.
A tornado moving over wide open water is called a waterspout. Occasionally, observers catch them forming inland as well.
Now, a small waterspout is quite a short-lived phenomenon, and particularly if it moves from the water to the land, it will lose energy and drop its load.
Other cases of raining fish are close to rivers or open ocean. La Germanu's nearest large body of water is 480 kilometers away. For a fish to complete this journey, a whirlwind would have to be a whopper.
You really are looking at a supercell tornado, which can easily exceed 200, 300 kilometers an hour.
If it's a tornado, something is not adding up. many of the fish found on the ground are still living.
I couldn't believe it. It was alive, and some of them was big, some of them was medium-sized, some of them was really small. And they were swimming around. Some of them we kept them in the sink. I walked over there and grabbed one of the fish moving around alive.
My son found live fish in a puddle at the front of his house, which we videoed.
For Emil, this is the final blow to the tornado theory.
The fish would have to rise up within the storm to a level which is well above the freezing level. So 40,000 feet. We're talking temperatures of -20, -30 degrees Celsius. At that kind of temperatures, it's a very harsh environment for a fish to survive, I would imagine. And to land on the ground kicking and happy is just a little bit hard to believe.
You can keep some as pets. You can catch some as a hobby. And you can eat some for protein. But be prepared to look at your fish in a whole new light.
Oh, it's biting me.
As we bring you face to face with breathtaking underwater giants. Follow us as we plunge into the deepest rivers in search of the planet's biggest fish.
Close to 300 pounds.
So get ready to meet the giant fins. Next on Nat Geo Wild. It's the wild guess time. What's the name of this animal? Stay tuned for the answer on Nat Geo Wild. Panasonic presents the World Heritage Special. Experience the untold story of those who look after Earth's legacies. From managing the Great Barrier Reef to maintaining the myth of Borobudur and the majesty of Versailles. Enjoy a fresh perspective on preservation. The World Heritage Special, Saturday night at 8 on the National Geographic Channel. The World Heritage Special is presented by Panasonic.
परफ्यूम लगा रहे हो या गैस उड़ा रहे हो? पेश है फॉग. नो गैस, नो वेस्टेज. फॉग. फर्क पड़ता है.
This May, Nat Geo Wild brings you some thrilling showdowns. Get ready to explore a life so wild where even the tough find it hard to survive. Brand new blue chip series, The Wild Wild West. How do animals achieve incredible bursts of velocity? Find out in the all-new Speed Kills. Witness the transformation of helpless newborns into top hunters. All new season, built for the kill. Get ready for some serious showdowns this May on Nat Geo Wild. Wild guess. So what's the animal? It's a cone snail. Their venomous harpoon can paralyze their prey instantly.
If no tornado is uploading fish and showering them on Lajmanu, the team must consider other suspects. The town's general store manager, Stuart Shearer, sets the investigation on a different trail.
I've seen them here hatch out of the ground after it rains, a couple of weeks after it's rained. And we fish out the front of the shop, and we're 200 metres from the creek.
The seemingly newborn fish Stuart sees emerging from the earth are the same species as those found in town after the rain. Spangled perch. It's as if they're awakening from suspended animation. Lajmanu's reputation for extreme weather may offer a clue.
Lajmanu is a location which has a very seasonal climate. So it's one of extremes. During the wet season, everywhere the billabongs fill up, all the river courses start to run, and the grass grows and it's lush and quite beautiful. Then rapidly, once that rain stops, everything just bakes, dries out, the grass turns brown,